Amazing to be able to hear Sarah Meyer. Yay, Sarah! Oh, it's so beautiful. What a beautiful way to start the day. Thank you so much. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome to Unity of Charlottesville, everyone. And get my paper here. I want to welcome Peggy Ruth as the celebration assistant this morning, helping me out today. Thank you, Peggy.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone here in the sanctuary, everyone joining us on the internet, via Zoom, Facebook, our internet page, whatever. We are so thankful that you are here to join us on this beautiful Sunday, Father's Day morning. And as is our tradition, we'd like to begin today with just a moment of prayer. So I ask you to just become still.
This is the song. I'm sorry. Okay. Prayer later.
All right. Blair?
I'm flexible.
We're working.
We are.
Okay, Blair.
We're putting the words up today. We're slowly but surely getting back to normal. So you can sing gently behind your masks.
Do you would like to stand? You can breathe a lot better that way. You don't have to stand if it's a problem.
Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. With all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. I will love you, Lord, with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, and with all my strength. I will serve you, Lord, with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, and with all my strength. With all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, with all my strength. I will serve you, Lord, with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, and with all my strength. I will love you. Your turn. I will praise you. I will serve you. I will trust you. With all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, with all my strength, with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, with all my strength. I will love you, Lord, with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, and with all my strength. I will love you, Lord, with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, and with all my strength. I will love you, Lord, with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, and with all my strength.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you so much. Well, I would also like to welcome everyone here today to Unity of Charlottesville, a place that is bursting with love and joy. And to our wonderful people online, on Facebook, on YouTube, on our website, on Zoom, wherever you are out there, we're glad you're with us. And we are very grateful to be a community that truly welcomes all people with any beautiful outer exterior differences going on. And so we welcome people of every faith, lifestyle, belief system, political party, sexual orientation, gender identity, diversity, and disability and ability. All are welcome because they're all family. We are all unity. And so I wanted to also mention to you that Don, Reverend Don, sends his love, and he is watching. He is watching on one of those online devices. Don, we wanted to be very open and authentic and tell you what's going on with Don, because he wasn't here last week either. Ooh, they're flying in. That's a latecomer. Don had minor surgery to remove a benign cyst from his throat, and he had an adverse complication from the anesthesia that has affected his bladder, and so he is home resting and in quite a bit of pain. So he's asking for your prayers, and we just see him coming through this with flying colors and coming back radiant and more alive and vital than he ever was. So very grateful for your prayer support. So why don't we go ahead then and pray in. Let us take this moment now to breathe and to know that on this day, this very special day, this day that is named for honoring and remembering fathers, that we are here knowing that each and every one of us has had a father and maybe many other fathering figures in our lives. And so it is a good time to remember them, remember our connection with them, and to honor all of the fathers who are with us today. Fathers everywhere who chose to bring life into this world and to be part of that divine creative essence of God that allows life to emerge on this planet in so many beautiful, beautiful ways. All of our children are here because of our fathers and mothers, of course, and today we remember all of them, celebrate them in the best way that we can through spiritual community that allows for every difference in whatever that relationship looks like. And we are so grateful to be together in spiritual community, knowing that this is our home. This is where we can express the fullness of who we are. And we also include Don in our prayers, of course, sending him healing light and love. We know our prayers are powerful to make change in the world. And any of the other people who are on our prayer list or on your heart that you are asking for prayers for them, for healing, for prosperity, for right relationships, for perfect outcomes, for divine justice. All of those people on your heart of hearts, we include them in this prayer time. And we know that our prayers go forth to make their way smooth and clear, to remind them, to lift them, to know that they are themselves expression of the divine. And in doing this, we are amplified in our prayers. And we are deeply grateful for the ability to pray together and to hold the truth in all situations. And so we conclude our prayer with our statement of faith that is here for us. If you don't know it, together please. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And so it is. Amen. Well, if you would like to stand, and please know you don't have to if it's a problem, we want to sing our welcome song together.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Well, we bless our children knowing that some of our teenagers are with us in service today, and I'm sure there are more kids online, and so Kate gets to stay in the service today. Yay! And I just want to mention that I know each week some of you are here in the sanctuary for the very first time in 14, 15 months. And I know what that means to you, as it did to many of us when we came back just a few weeks ago. So blessings, welcome, welcome, and enjoy the space. Enjoy it. We're glad you're with us. Well, you may know also that yesterday was also a very special day, Juneteenth. And Juneteenth is now our federal national holiday. And it is great. It is really great. And it commemorates the end of slavery that happened on June 19th, 1865, when in Galveston, Texas, the Army finally got down to Galveston, Texas, and told the slaves that were still did not know that the emancipation had happened and that they were free. So this date, of course, is filled with celebration and also mourning, because there is still so much healing to be done in the area of prejudice and racism and the history of slavery in our community and our world. So with all of that, we just hold it, right, in all of its ramifications, and know that as we claim a national holiday, that things can then continue to be known and continue to move forward. So we are very grateful that Juneteenth is now national. And many of you know that Don and I were at the annual Unity Ministers Convention last week. However, we were online. I didn't have to take our little bunny slippers off. And it was a wonderful convention, as always, and we got to see people online that we knew. And what UWM, Unity Worldwide Ministries, did was they put forth a new resolution. And I would like to invite up 3 of our board members now to come forward to read this resolution to all of us. So I don't need that mic, but you guys can step up to it. So this is a resolution from Unity Worldwide Ministries, our parent organization in Lee Summit, Missouri. A resolution on diversity, equity, and inclusion, Juneteenth, 2021. This is an official statement from Unity Worldwide Ministries. Unity Worldwide Ministries stands for anti-racism, i.e. we are opposed to racial hatred, racial violence, bias, systemic racism, and the oppression of people of color. We stand for diversity, equity, and inclusion for people who are marginalized because of color. No individual or group should be made to live in fear or excluded from society. Recent events in the United States and the world remind us that the violent repression, prejudices, injustices, and inequalities towards people of color are embedded in societies, from social structures to institutions to cultures. Unity chooses to be more aware and to take positive action in dismantling systemic racism and the social structures that support injustice and prejudice. We raise awareness throughout our membership churches and centers.
Whereas Unity stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion for people of color, our second principle states, human beings have a spark of divinity within them, the Christ Spirit within. Their very essence is of God, and therefore they are also inherently good. This principle applies to all people, regardless of color, and
whereas we are fully committed to Unity Worldwide Ministries being an ambassador for diversity, equity, and inclusion in our world, an example through our actions in the Unity movement, and
whereas Unity Worldwide Ministries Board of Trustees acknowledges that there has been and is systemic racism in Unity. We acknowledge and accept responsibility for the impact that our history with racism has made upon our Black and brown friends, colleagues, congregants, students, employees, and patrons, both past and present. We commit to eradicating any and all systems, policies, and practices that would in any way replicate our past mistakes or reproduce an environment that discriminates against or is inhospitable toward people on the basis of race, color, or ethnicity, now, and therefore be it.
Resolved that based on Unity's 5th principle of taking action, which states knowing and understanding the laws of life, also called truth, is not enough. A person must live the truth that he or she knows. We commit to the following actions.
to reflect on an ongoing basis diversity, equity, and inclusion in our Unity Worldwide Ministries Board of Trustees.
To commit to reinforce our policy of non-discrimination by adopting and instituting best practices for ensuring that all qualified applicants and candidates are given full consideration for any and all positions without respect to race, ethnicity, culture, or color.
To ongoing robust mandatory staff leadership, development, and education committed to building a culturally competent, anti-racist community of leaders and allies. Our bold initiative will address trainings on implicit bias, cultural competence, white fragility, and becoming an anti-racist, along with ongoing training and education that positions Unity Worldwide Ministries to be on the leading edge of building consciously awake through leaders committed to dismantling systemic racism and building the beloved community.
To develop and disseminate principle-centered education programs and curricula to use in our centers, spiritual communities, study groups, and churches that equip Unity ministers, spiritual leaders, teachers, and laity with the information, inspiration, and resources necessary to detect and dissolve systemic racism within themselves and build healthy, diverse, equitable, and inclusive communities. These materials will take many forms, including a wide offering of online seminars.
To allocate monetary resources to the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2021 to continue the work that the UWM board has done in the 12-week class on racial diversity and the continued recognition of an inherent culture of white privilege with a racial equity consultant to assist us in developing a more organization-wide permanent response to the issue and needs for increased diversity, equity, and inclusion. And be it
Further resolved, we are committed to moving beyond neutrality and to fully acknowledging that Black lives matter too. Sorry. And we're committed to demonstrating our sensitivity and understanding of this basic unity tenet by no longer colluding in racism.
This is Unity. This is your organization. It is signed by the full board of trustees at UWM, and there are copies of this on the table right in the back of the sanctuary for you to pick up. This is an incredible resolution. I'm very, very proud to be able to share it with all of you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing. You can go back down.
And now if you will join me in our mission statement. Together.
Unity of Charlottesville empowers everyone to express their unique divinity while making a positive difference in the world. Yes.
Lovely.
So happy to have Van singing this morning.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
This is alone. Okay.
Testing. That'll be good.
Ooh,
I don't think that was me.
is that me? No.
I can't stand to fly. I'm not that naive. I'm just out to find the better part of me. I'm more than a bird, I'm more than a plane, I'm more than some pretty face beside a train, and it's not easy to be me. I wish that I could cry, fall upon my knees, find a way to lie about a home I'll never see. It may sound absurd, but don't be naive. Even heroes have the right to bleed. I may be disturbed, but won't you concede? Even heroes have the right to dream. It's not easy to be me. Up and away, away from me. Well, it's alright. You can all sleep sound tonight. I'm not crazy or anything. I can't stand to fly. I'm not that naive. Men weren't meant to ride with clouds between their knees. I'm only a man in a silly red sheet, digging for kryptonite on this one-way street. Only a man in a funny red sheet, looking for special things inside of me, inside of me, inside of me, yeah, inside of me, inside of me. I'm only a man in a funny red sheet. I'm only a man looking for a dream. I'm only a man in a funny red sheet, and it's not easy. Oh, oh, oh. It's not easy to be me. Thank you.
You've just heard from a man who is looking for special things inside of him. A man who realizes that he has been socialized to be more than a bird, a plane, a man in a red sheet. He was socialized to be Superman, a man of steel, a hero who is never afraid, never shows vulnerability, who is always doing the job and always wins. Well, that man and other men really want to break free of that male stereotype, searching to know more deeply who they really are. Well, I'd say good thing he found his way to Unity, because we can certainly help him to know more fully who he truly is. We can help to support him and celebrate his uniqueness. So, why do you think our Superman or anyone else would like to break free of a stereotype? Well, because a stereotype is a small cage that prescribes how you should behave as a part of that group that you're a part of, keeping you restricted from being uniquely who you are. And not only that, but there is a term called stereotype threat, psychological term. It is when a hostile attitude is directed toward a person who belongs to a certain group simply because he or she belongs to that group and is therefore presumed to have objectionable qualities of that group. Certainly, a stereotype threat is in our culture regarding black fathers. Negative limiting beliefs about black fathers, that they are absent from their families and don't seem to care about their responsibilities as father. That's a stereotype threat. Of course, this is Father's Day, and Oprah Winfrey recently did a Father's Day special about Black fathers, and her goal was to challenge that stereotype. And she said, so much harm has been done by the words and images in movies and media about the absent Black father. We in Unity certainly know how very powerful words and images are to fix certain consciousness in our own beliefs. Well, did you know that there was a time when welfare assistance was withheld from impoverished families if the husband or father was living in the home? So in order for the wife and children to receive welfare, the man of the house had to vacate the premises, which seems like an extremely noble and heroic thing to do for his family. But can you see the ramifications of this practice? It was harmful to all of those families and undermining to the family structure, helping to create the stereotype of absent and irresponsible father. So how do we begin to unhook limiting stereotypes? First of all, by education and by knowing the history, so we can see where a lot of this stuff comes from. We can also look to the example of Jesus that he set, absolutely living free of the male stereotypical role. In his day, women and Samaritans were stereotyped as inferior to men, so much more inferior that they should be avoided. Don't even talk to them. Don't be seen with them. But Jesus didn't let that erroneous belief keep him from interacting with women. He had women as well as men followers. And we recall that wonderful story in John 4, 1 through 42, of Jesus at Jacob's well speaking to the Samaritan woman. His disciples came and saw him there and were really surprised that he was talking to her. But Jesus saw everyone as his human family and interacted with all people as the unique individuals that they truly are. And it is for us to do the same with every single person that we meet. And Jesus certainly didn't behave as the stereotype of a man, even though men, even back then, were not supposed to weep. We know that Jesus wept whenever he was that sad. He expressed joy, too. Remember his joy with the little children? And every emotion in between. He felt free to express his emotions. And I've always felt such sadness for particularly the boys who are constrained from having their emotions available to them. And with all the benefits of being a man in our world, this lack of encouragement for emotional expression and emotional maturity can hinder boys and men in that whole emotional quadrant of life. It's very hard to catch up with it when you've not had that freedom to express it as you grew, as you became older. Very hard to catch up with it. So much of what I've said can affect what it means to be a father. And on Father's Day, we know that this day can be joyous and celebrative, or bittersweet, or perhaps just plain bitter. Many of us have had or have great and wonderful relationships with our fathers. Many of us don't. Some fathers have been physically unavailable, focusing on making a living to support their families. Some have come from a broken home, divorced parents, or adopted, or father left or died when the child was the child was just very young. One day, two kids, Johnny and Billy, were talking to each other. And Johnny said, "I feel really worried. My dad works 12 hours a day and comes home to give me a nice home and food, and Mom spends the entire day working, and then she comes home to cook and clean for me." And Billy said, "Well, what have you got to worry about? It sounds like you've got it made." And Johnny replied, "Yeah, but what if they try to escape?" Like Jesus, our model, our way shower, we are all here to integrate the divine masculine and the divine feminine, to become whole and fully self-expressed. And how we discover more of who we are through these many traits of the divine feminine and masculine. You know, it's very much like the yin-yang symbol. Part of the dark is contained in the light, part of the light is contained in the dark. And the divine feminine and divine masculine are not opposites. Together, they are balancing and intertwining within us. The divine masculine moves and creates and acts and directs and becomes the captain of one's own ship. And the divine feminine is compassionate, intuitive, and wise, and collaborative. You can see how both are so necessary to be a complete and whole person. Well, there are three core attributes of the divine masculine that author Karen Russo speaks about. These attributes are intention, choice, and action. You know, as I was preparing for this day, usually Don does Father's Day, I usually do Mother's Day. This year it was completely changed. And I realized that I really haven't, over the time that we've known each other, I haven't really said much about my father. So I'd like to share about him today. And I want to use his story to illustrate these three divine masculine qualities: intention, choice, and action. And as I do, please use this also to notice these qualities in your own father or fathering figures in your life as well. So in 1910, my father was 2 years old, and he came with his mother and his 4 siblings on the Atlantic crossing from Palermo, Sicily, to Ellis Island. His father had gone before him to make a place for the family when they came. And I don't know if you know, but between 1880 and 1924, those 44 years, there were 4 million people who came from Italy to America. And between 1900 and 1910, just those 10 years, 2 million Italians came, and my family was part of that surge in 1910. They left their homes, many of them from southern Italy and Sicily, because of grinding rural poverty. And the story in our family was that my grandfather just could not make a living on the farm any longer because there had been such a drought for so many years that nothing could grow. So he sold his farm I guess maybe he gave it to his brothers and sisters. I'm not clear on that. But they moved to America. And then the next year, the rains came. But it's okay, isn't it? Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be speaking English. So it was, nevertheless, in America, a very, very hard existence for them. Think of it, being embedded so much in a culture and in extended family for generations, to be uprooted from that, not have any of their relatives here, it was hard. And my father's mother died 2 years after they came here, when my father was 4. And my father's father died when my father was 10. And as was the custom, at least in the Italian families, Anthony, the firstborn son, inherited everything, the small farm that they had in America. And Anthony decided to sell it and kept all the money for himself, as was legal. But it caused the rest of the children to be split up and distributed around. And my father and his next oldest brother were sent to an orphanage, a very, very harsh environment in those days. And his sisters were sent to a cousin that lived near Buffalo. This is my dad, Leonard, and my mom, Ann. The divine masculine quality of intention was clearly alive in my father, from starting with nothing and having only a 5th grade education. He smartly chose the trade of becoming a barber, which was perfect for him, for his artistic eye and his refined manner of engaging with people in conversation, as well as while he was creating beauty and divine order in their hair. He was very, very popular and had enough work to work in an exclusive men's club in Buffalo 6 days a week, and he held that position for 16 years. And on the 7th day of the week, my father would want to do something for somebody else. He would often make the big meal on Sunday to give my mom a break because she cooked all during the week. And often we would go to visit our cousins, and he would spend the whole afternoon cutting all of the boys' hair. It's just the way he was, very giving. My father's intention was very clear and direct, to create a good life for his family. We always seemed to have enough. Due to my parents' hard work and resourcefulness and carefully managed and frugal ways, the quality of intention is that direct focus, right? Do you see that in your fathers or in yourself as that first part of the divine masculine? The second quality of divine masculine is choice. The divine masculine makes choices, often quickly and decisively. We all have free will to choose a way of God or a way not of God. It is our choice. I saw my father choose the way of God when he chose to forgive his half-brother Anthony, the half-brother who had kept all the money and sent the rest of the children into extreme poverty. When I was born, I realized after a while my parents made the effort to reconnect with that part of the family, and we took a road trip to Chicago to visit my Uncle Anthony and my cousins. And I witnessed my dad and Anthony's conversation when I was only about 6 or 7, but I will never forget it. I will never forget the depth of their sadness and love that they expressed to each other through the blessed choice of forgiveness by my father. I'm sure you know people in families who sometimes vow to say they will never forgive, and they will take that to their grave. It's a choice. I'm grateful that my father chose the path of forgiveness. What do you find in choices made by your father and yourself? And action is the third quality of the divine masculine. My father took direct action to educate himself. He loved to read and to learn. And I know that I share my love of learning with him. That was a core value in my family. I had to go to college. And of course, that was not a problem for me. I loved it. And I loved going into graduate school and all of that. It was a joy to me. I recall, though, doing activities with my father. Action, taking action. One of them was going sledding on his back with my brother on top of my back. We piled on top of my father in Buffalo winters. Oh, so much snow. It was great. And taking walks with my dad. He wasn't a very tall man. He was about 5'8". But he had such a long stride. I had to really work hard to keep up with him. And then we would sing his favorite songs together as we walked. And most consistently, we all would go bowling with my mother and dad. My father was a championship bowler, and he loved that game. He was known as the anchor man. What that means is, there were several men on the squad. He was the last one to bowl. And the tension mounted as the different scores happened, and he was last. He was there to make the difference if there was going to be a difference made. My father was so calm, so peace-filled, that it didn't faze him, this stress or strain, and he would bowl and bring the group through. He bowled many 300 games, which means 12 strikes in a row. He bowled those also in competition at championship games. We had so many statues of all of that he received from all of the prizes he won. You can see these three qualities of the divine masculine in sports in general, right? Because the intention. The players always set a clear intention, and the ball, whatever ball that they are using, is going in a certain path. Choice would be, how do you position yourself for the best results? And action, the sport, the game, is all about taking purposeful action. Perhaps this is one reason why men and women really love to participate and watch sports, because it's a way to activate and practice the qualities of the divine masculine. So on this Father's Day, let's take time to reflect. Am I cultivating the qualities of the divine masculine in my life? On Mother's Day, we talked a lot about the divine feminine qualities. What did you receive from your dad? What modeling did he show you about these qualities? Or perhaps with other fathering figures in your life? What I received was my father was always my greatest support. I always knew that I could talk to him, and he would be a calm place for me to reflect and to rest in his presence. The very last thing that he told me was on the day before he died. I was 15 years old. They had just previously to that day performed an emergency tracheotomy, which is where they cut into the throat so the person can breathe, because my father had had so much scar tissue that built up in his throat because of the radiation treatments for the cancer that he could not breathe. So they broke open his throat to do that. So on that last day, they gave Dad an Etch-a-Sketch pad to be able to write his thoughts in communication. And I shared with him that I was having a very difficult time with biology. It was the summer school class that I was taking in order to get ahead in my high school credits. And he said, well, he wrote on his Etch-a-Sketch pad, "You can do anything that you put your mind to." That was our last communication. And of course, it has stayed with me all this time, forever. What an affirmative statement. What an empowering statement to be left with. Each one of our fathers and our fathering figures in our life are unique and cannot be contained in any stereotype. And if no one has told you yet today, I want to be the first to tell you that I love you. I love you. I love you. And in case you don't know, I hope that you know that I believe in your unlimited potential. I hope you know that, because what I see in each and every one of you is the divine expressing in this world in your unique and beautiful and unrepeatable ways. You are spirit, and your potential is amazing and unlimited. Divine feminine qualities and divine masculine qualities, as you bring them to the fore, will create your wholeness. And your wholeness, you will see that you are truly spirit expressing. Take a moment now to reflect on your relationship with your father or your fathering people in your life, and how they may have responded if you and he were invited to be part of this video. I'd like the lights dimmed, please, and our video I will play in a second.
Slightly intimidating.
The volume has to be much louder. They can't hear it.
Dad, what about me makes you proud?
Oh, man.
Dad, what about me makes you proud?
Dad, what about me makes you proud?
Dad, what about me makes you proud?
And I have to answer that one?
Yes.
Just about everything that you do.
You're loving, you're funny. I could go on and on.
What makes me proud about you is you just being yourself.
I had trouble with alcohol. It was actually an intervention. Even with all the other people there, you were the real reason that I made the decision to go into the treatment center that I did. And thank you.
Thank you. You're helpful. Yeah, you forgot the funny part.
Your attention to hygiene.
Dad, I am grateful to you for choosing to stay when I was little. Why am I crying?
the time when I'm graduating and I'm packing up and leaving that it's really gonna hit me. And
Like, I think about a time when if you're not around, like that would be awful. But like you're the person that would always laugh.
Dad, I'm grateful because we didn't know how long you were going to be with us, so we're so happy that you're still here.
Dad, I'm proud of you for knowing that the most important thing was to just give your kids so much time.
I've always been impressed by you. You made it easy.
Thanks.
I miss having the chance to just check in with you. I miss your sketchbooks.
I love you. I love you too.
We don't say it enough.
Hey.
I love you, Dad.
It doesn't compute until they're gone. So tell them now.
Sort of weird standing so close to each other.
So I'm going to invite us to pray and to take some of this into meditation right now. Let us pray that we can all be a blessing to every child who crosses our path, no matter what age they are, and that we can be an example of fatherhood expressing divine love. Let us praise those fathers who strive to balance the demands of work, marriage, and children with an honest awareness of both joy and sacrifice. Let us praise those fathers who, lacking a good model for a father, have worked to become a good father. Let us praise those fathers who, by their own account, were not always there for their children, but who continue to offer those children, now grown, their love and support. Let us pray for those fathers who have been wounded by the neglect and hostility of their children. Let us praise those fathers who, despite divorce, have remained in their children's lives. Let us praise those fathers whose children are adopted and whose love and support has offered healing. Let us praise those fathers who, as stepfathers, freely chose the obligation of fatherhood and earned their stepchildren's love and respect. Let us praise those fathers who have lost a child to death and continue to hold that child in their heart. Let us praise those men who have no children but cherish the next generation as if they were their own. Let us praise those men who have fathered us in their role as mentors and guides. Let us praise those men who are about to become fathers. May they openly delight in their children. And let us praise those fathers who have died, but live on in our memory, and whose love continues to nurture us. Let us take a moment now in the silence to sift through all of these thoughts, all of these memories. Feel the presence of Spirit with you in the silence. We are all a mixture of so many things, so many unique qualities, unique experiences. In the end, perhaps all there is love that remains. So as you hear this music, allow it to begin to return you to this time and place.
This is my Father's world, and to my listening ears, all nature sings, and round me rings the music of the spheres. This is my Father's world. I rest me in the thought of rocks and trees, of skies and seas. His hand the wonders wrought. This is my Father's world. The birds their carols raise, the morning light, the lily white, declare their Maker's praise. This is my Father's world. He shines in all that's fair. In the rustling grass I hear him pass. He speaks to me everywhere.
Thank you so much. Ah, what a blessing to have you, Sarah and Blair. Thank you. Well, this is an opportunity, a time in our service where we get to give back a portion of all the good that we have received. So as our ushers are coming forth with them, come right down, Jen. She's got the butterfly net today for contactless giving. And we just, I believe that we're all family here, no newcomers today. And people, yes, welcome, welcome, welcome Your first time with us today? Thank you for being here. Thank you. We hope you'll come back again, and every week is different. So if you're giving, you know that there are many ways to give: online, text, or mail, or you can donate right here. So are you ready, Blair, for the next one? Okay. So let us all bless our love offerings. Divine love. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, John.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we may never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made from what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now, whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its moorings by a wind off the sea, like a seed drop by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then again, I know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed You and those talks. Oh, boy. I love you. Thank you for that beautiful message. It was beautiful.
Oh, wow. We have another opportunity to gather together in the middle of the week. We call it our midweek prayer lift. It's a wonderful group. We hope you'll join us Wednesdays at 6:30. It's just 30 minutes. But it's a great time to connect together, to pray with and for each other. And it's open to everyone. Whether you're a member of Unity of Charlottesville or not, feel free to join us and pray together.
Thank you. Aisha, do you want to make, am I on? No. Aisha, would you like to make the next announcement? Dun, 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 dun. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This week is the first in-person Chanting in Unity that we've had in over a year. So we would love, love, love to see you there. It's at 7 o'clock. The theme is grace. Love to see you.
Will it also be online?
And it will be online. You can find
Great.
us on our Unity Charlottesville YouTube page.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, well, and also next week, next slide. Okay, thank you. Next week we'll have the dedication of the Unity Meditation Garden Japanese Bridge immediately following the service. And this bridge is dedicated in honor of George Robinson and Lauren Bayless, and their families will be here with us. Cynthia will be here, Lauren's mother, and Rita, of course. And we just hope that you'll join us. It'll be very beautiful and brief ceremony. We'll go right from church down to the bridge. Hope you can join us. And do know that there are many sacred service opportunities appearing now because we're back. So if you would like to be on the blessing team or welcome team, facilities team or landscaping team, just come and see me and we'll get you on board. And Peggy.
And our pastoral care team is here to help you in any need that you have. Feel free to call the church office or go online and reach out, and someone from that team will be available to help you.
Great. Thank you, Peggy. And Peggy's one of our wonderful prayers. She's on the pastoral care team as well as Buddy and the Healing Helpers. And for virtual fellowship, there will be virtual fellowship till noon, right after the service, if those online want to stay on Zoom. And Maria and Kate, Maria's coming up? Okay, and Kate. Yes? Both? Okay.
This is just a last wrap up from our incredible June 6th anniversary Love Fest, where we got to honor Dawn and Patricia and Blair and Kate for their many years of love and service to Unity of Charlottesville. And so today, they've grabbed some of their love notes already, but we have love note packets for you all to take home.
Wow.
So, so if you want to come up, Kate. Dawn.
All right. Thank you.
Be ready.
Wow.
This.
Wow.
We'll give this to Blair.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll just go home and curl up in the shade under a tree and bask in the love. That's my plan. Well, so we are going to honor our children and our families wherever they are. My daughter, Aurora, is actually on a canoe trip on the Upper James River for the next week. So
cool.
As we honor our kids, you can think about Aurora out there canoeing on the river. And of course, today we also especially send out like a little extra amped up burst of love to all of the fathers in our youth ed program who
Great.
support their kids in so many ways.
And our YOUers here.
Yeah, and thanks especially also to our YOUers who are here, who have shared their skills and your heart through your music. So together, let's say our children's blessing.
Children, Uniteens, YOUers, teachers, and parents, you are loved, special, and important. So
it's
true.
so true. Have a great week. Mwah.
Thank you, thank you. So the Healing Helpers will be in the corner right after the service to pray with you in a circle, and Buddy and Peggy, I believe, will be here to pray with you one-on-one, and we're very grateful for all the prayers. And thank you, dear sound team and media team. Thank you so much, and Bob, I know, is on board also. We are very grateful to you and did a beautiful job. Thank you, Blair. Thank you, our wonderful teens,
Thank you
for your
again,
music.
Sam,
Oh,
Sarah.
please come back and sing and play again. It was just extraordinary. Thank you. Thanks, Peggy, for
And
you
on
being
behalf
here.
of the entire congregation, let's thank our dear, wonderful Reverend Patricia. Thank you for sharing your story this morning.
So welcome.
Thank you for sharing your father's story this morning.
Thank you, Peggy. Thank you.
I saw Kleenex boxes pulling out all over the congregation this morning in the sanctuary.
I think you had it bad.
You literally did move us to tears. So as is our custom, let's stand, please, and join together in the prayer for protection. The
Light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. Let there be peace on earth,
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Happy Father's Day, y'all. Have a wonderful week. See you next week. Love you.